Hello, everybody. So happy to have you here. I wanted to jump on here and talk about 3 tips for you to end SOS. Now, you might have heard the expression or maybe not. What is SOS? So, SOS is are those shiny objects that you're chasing after. So, they call it SOS for the shiny object syndrome. We all suffer from it, especially if you do any kind of work in the entrepreneur world. We're chasing one thing after another. So I wanted to take a few minutes just to talk about why do we have this problem? Well, 3 reasons really. The first thing is the fear of missing out. We are surrounded by everything, new stuff coming at us left and right. We have all different channels of social media. We have our inboxes just filled to the brim. Every place you look, there seems to be new challenges, new products, new services, new freebies to download. So the list just goes on and on. So you kind of jump in the middle and you just can't help it. You're just afraid you're going to miss out on something really good that's going to help you with your business. So that's the main reason we suffer from SOS. Another reason, excuse me, that we suffer from this, it boils down to procrastination. So you sit down and you need to write that blog article, or you need to do some research for an upcoming broadcast that you're doing, or you're working on creating some content, and the mood's just not there, And so then before you know it, you're kind of scrolling in social media, or you're reading some of those email messages, and all of a sudden, here's something new for you to try. And so you click on it. You downloaded that freebie, and before you know it, you're down that rabbit hole, and 2 hours later, you wonder how come you haven't gotten anything done. So in addition to having that fear of missing out, it's just a form of procrastination. When we see something bright and shiny, we can't help it. We want to jump over there and investigate it. And then another reason is we don't have a clear direction on what we should be doing. So we sit at our desk, we have that overwhelmed feeling, almost like that drowning feeling. And so it's just so much easier to, when we see that shining beacon off in the distance, we just go after that. So without that clear direction, then we lose that focus of what we're supposed to be doing. So the real question is then, how do we end it? How do we stop this chasing after the shiny objects? And I'm just as guilty as everybody else. So the first thing is that really helps me is, you've probably heard the expression, to stay in your lane. So I used to swim on a swim team when I was a kid, and they have those little lane markers and those little floating buoys there to keep you in your lane. So, there's no room for you to get off track anyplace else. You're just swimming away, and you get to the finish line and you're good to go. So as you're doing your work, as you're mapping out the things that you want to accomplish for the day and the week, just make sure that you stay in that lane. And if you have to, put blinders on. So down where I live, there's a lot of horse and buggy families, and a lot of times those horses, especially if they're kind of young or kind of skittish, they have those blinders on, because the blinders will stop all of those distractions, and it just keeps them focused, keeps them moving forward. So that's the first suggestion, is just stay in your lane. If you need to put the blinders on, put the blinders on. And what do I mean by the blinders? That means you might need to turn off all of your notifications, your email notification, turn off any of the web browser tabs that you don't need. Just make sure everything's locked down so that you can focus on what you need to. And then the next tip to help you to stay away from chasing those shiny objects is to define your money-making activities. It's so easy for us to get caught up into doing something, but it's not adding to the bottom line. It's not a dollar-making activity. Now, I love technology, and part of my job, so to speak, is investigating technology, but really, do I need to investigate every single brand new scheduling app that comes out? No, not really. So, unless there's a real need for me, do I really need to be spending my time investigating all of these new technology toys or tools, I should say? Or how about something that you're passionate about, you enjoy doing it, but it's not your best way of using your time. So another example is Canva. I love creating graphics. I could play in Canva all day. I have a creative side and it's just fun for me. Maybe I'm not the greatest at it. My VA is actually a lot better than me, but I love it. I think it's fun. But is it the best use of my time? And is it driving the business forward? Is it a money-making activity? I can have other people create my social media graphics or my ebook covers, things like that. And one thing that will help when we talk about money-making activity is if you actually calculate your hourly wage or your hourly rate and then ask yourself. So it was best said, somebody else was saying that they loved playing around with web development, but he said, okay, should I pay a web developer $50 an hour to recreate my web page, or should I pay myself $500 an hour to play on my website? So when you put things into that context, it helps us to get back in our lane, quit chasing all these shiny objects, and just work on those money-making activities, the things in your business that only you can do, or that specialized service that you deliver. And then the last main tip that I have for you on eliminating the SOS is to develop good daily and weekly systems to accomplish your goals. So not just this long list of to-do things, but your goals. So what are your 90-day goals? What are the top three focus items for your week? So as you sit down and plan out your week, what are those top items? In my productivity pact for entrepreneurs, an online course, we have a whole segment devoted to this, planning your perfect week so you know exactly what you should be working on. And again, it helps you from going off into the weeds, and before you know it, you've wasted a whole day. I shouldn't say waste, but you've spent a whole day doing something that's not connected directly to those goals. And a couple other tips I guess I'll throw out here is make a commitment. Do it today. And kind of put yourself on a detox. And so that commitment is, okay, for the next week or even the next month, I'm not going to subscribe to anything new. I'm not going to sign up for any new freebies. I'm not going to sign up for any new challenges or new ebooks or anything like that. I'm going to really monitor where I'm spending my time in social media so that I don't get caught up in, oh, somebody's doing this over here. Well, I better jump over there and do that. Just make a commitment. If a month is too long, try a week. And just write it out on a note saying nothing new. I'm just going to stay focused on the activities that I need to. So it's hard, but just make sure that you don't enter into any of those fields, those turfs that are going to be kind of tempting for you. So I have to say, I love chocolate, and so that's a weakness for me. So if I'm really going to try not to eat chocolate, am I going to go into that candy store, or am I going to go into that shop that has those homemade chocolates? No, I'm going to stay away from it. And in fact, if I brought it into the house, I even tell my husband, get it out of the house. This is a new week. I'm not doing chocolate this week. And he takes it in his car and eats it when I'm not around. So again, don't subscribe to anything else. Make a commitment. You're going to stick with it. And then another thing that just kind of is an added suggestion is look into your inbox and unsubscribe. If you're like me, you might have 30, 40, 50 emails coming into your inbox from people that you've signed up for, all of those freebies, those delicious looking ebooks. But let's be realistic. Are any of those serving you? Now, I have to be first to say here that I'm like all the other online coaches and consultants. I send out emails too, but we can't serve everybody. And so if someone unsubscribes to me, I recognize that I'm just not what they need at that time. So don't feel like you're going to hurt somebody's feelings by unsubscribing. If it's not serving you in the moment, it will always be there when you're ready. So unsubscribe, or at least put all that stuff, set up a system, set up a rule that all that stuff goes into another folder so you're not distracted. So you're not going down the road chasing those shiny objects. So I hope this helps, just to help you, number one, define what that shiny object is or how we get off into the weeds, and then some practical tips. Stay in your lane, put those blinders on if you have to. Write down what are your money-making activities, what are your top 3 goals that you're shooting for this week, and develop some systems to keep you out of the weeds. And if you need to, get an accountability coach. And shameless plug, that's one thing that I help my clients with, is to help them stay focused on where they want to go. So I hope this helps you, and I just want you to have a great day. See you later. Bye.